Hello and welcome back to Better Book Reviews. Today is April 6th, 2025, and we will be reviewing the California Surf Project. This is a story of two guys who traveled in 2006 who have an amazing story, and stay tuned till the end because we are going to do a surprise unboxing of a mystery book that even I don't know what it is. We have so many books we want to open here, and this is a book that I read last year. It is mainly pictures, but also has great stories that go with all the amazing photos. So without further ado, let's jump in. This is by Eric Soderquist and Chris Burkhard. And this is the California Surf Project. My cousin's wife gave him this book, and then I believe he bought me a copy. So thank you to both of them. They traveled in 1978 VW van. And we're going to read the foreword together right now. And then we will show you some pictures. It's a classic pursuit, this lengthwise traversal of coastal California. Its 1,100 variegated Pacific miles have hosted 1 million surf trips. For some, the Golden State sojourn is a rite of passage, a pilgrimage to the far reaches of nature, ripe for risk and a few smoky campfires. A cold ocean, a casual outdoor repose. For others, the journey is a result of logistical simplicity combined with Americana liberty and alluvial surprise, enough to keep gas in the tank of even the most experienced California surf searcher. As a child in Encinitas, I often sat in my dad's den and pored over automobile club maps of California's counties, dragging my fingertip along the convoluted coasts of Humboldt and Monterey, thinking, damn, I would love to go there. At the time, one family vacation to Sonoma's Russian River and a handful of Hollister Ranch trips were the extent of my state's travels. Yet with adulthood arrived freedom, kickstarting my first big surf trip from San Diego to Oregon. First came Imperial Beach, San Onofre, and the crowded Orange County boardwalks, Long Beach, Palos Verdes, and the urban South Bay sandbars, Santa Monica, Malibu, and the fertile Ventura nooks, unfurling to Rincon and sunny Santa Barbara, Gaviota Pass, the windy Rainbow Bridge from southern to central California, where bucolic San Luis Obispo crept into view, soon fading to Morro Bay and the San Simeon coast, accelerating into the steep wilds of Big Sur, the Monterey Peninsula, the stunning diversity of Santa Cruz, and the vast San Franciscan cosmopolis. North of the Golden Gate Bridge was esoteric and enticing, purely magical, inducing the random town names, Honeydew, Timber Cove, Mendocino. Names like these could latch my young mind to the sensations, the vivid auras of outdoor wonder, the cold and never-drying wetsuit, wood smoke, rain, and fog, morning dew on green campground grass, loud surf, bird song, and the sweet earthen scents of forest, fir, redwood, pine, sap, moss, fungi, ferns, brambleberries, rotting bark. For a San Diego-bred surfer weaned on crowds and warmth and acres of concrete, this was good stuff. For budding photographer Chris Burkhard, it was indeed a first. For surfer Eric Soderquist, a California travel veteran, it was a return. In October 2006, the two San Luis Obispo County natives took to historic highways 1 and 101, alighting with no set plan other than to have none at all. living for the next 2 months in Soderquist's 1978 Volkswagen bus. touring the crisp, cruisy autumnal scene from the Oregon border south to the Tijuana slows, Burkhard photographing, Soderquist surfing and painting and driving most of the time. Adventure abounded along the state's north and central coasts, from surfing a veritable river boar in Del Norte to witnessing attempted murder in Fort Bragg, to revisiting favorite spots in Carmel, to catching the flu in San Simeon. Southward, mining the Highway 1 Soul presented a new challenge, and Pacific Coast Highway became the duo's next vein of vicissitude, a storied land, a cityscape unfolding all the way to Baja. And so for Chris and Eric, the journey's end at Tijuana marked a profound and enlightening trek mentally, physically, and spiritually, as California is, naturally. Michael Q., Santa Barbara County. And here is a picture of the two of them. So before we get to the pictures, which will be very shortly, let's read you this introduction. My name is Eric Soderquist, and for the past 20 years, I have been on a mission to get to the beach. I was born and raised in the sleepy farm town of Arroyo Grande, which has an abundance of creeks and creatures. It was my family's playground. And as far as back as I can remember, my brothers and I were on some kind of adventure. Our transportation evolved from big wheels to bikes, skateboards, and eventually to motor vehicles. With each new transport came a notch of exploration, and I soon found myself exploring every nook and cranny of Central California. A few hills over from my house sat a young Chris Burkhard, who I would not meet until years later. As I recall, we first met at the beach. Chris was an overenthusiastic kid with an extreme excitement for photography. He was so amped that I could not help but laugh and think, who is this kid? And it didn't help that he ran with a pack of wily boogie boarders. They were always up to something. The pack loved pranks and stunts, and on any given day you could witness some incredibly stupid stuff. For example, a kid would try a backflip off his mom's station wagon, get a boogie board thrown at him, and simultaneously you would see a kid get kicked in the butt, and close by would be Chris trying to get a photo of it all. That was my first impression of Chris, and I definitely got a good laugh out of it. I kept seeing Chris surfing, and we started carpooling to the beach to save gas. We were equally broke and zealous, so we combined our resources, and the journey was born. We were up at first light, surfing day in and day out. The sunrises were beautiful, and the inspiration was endless. I had been painting oil landscapes at that time, and was studying California Impressionism. Chris was studying landscape photography, and our mediums proved to be compatible. We fed off each other and thought, how cool would it be to do a book with all this stuff in mind? It would be a tribute to everything we were studying, seeing, and feeling, a book on California. We agreed to drive from Oregon to Mexico, but we were broke, and for the time being it remained a daydream. A few months went by, and one day Chris mentioned he had heard of a photo contest. The contest was in memory of Larry Flame Moore, who was an amazing photographer and fixture in the surf world. The winner of the photo contest was to receive a grant to do his or her respective project. I encouraged Chris to enter his photos along with an essay of our plan to do a book on California. Long story short, Chris won the Follow the Light grant in honor of Larry Flame. Now we had gas money and no excuses. A week or so later, we packed my VW bus and headed for Oregon. We had achieved the daydream. Our vision unraveled before us, and this is the story of our adventure. So, now comes the fun part. It has a story with each part, and some of these surf spots I have been to, and some of them I haven't. I love this picture. Amazing photography. It's kind of a lost era, 2006. I think you could take pictures on your phone, but it wasn't really like it is today. And it does have a story with it, as you can see. I don't want to show you the whole book, but oh, I love this photo. Big Sur is definitely on my bucket list, as well as to surf Rincon. I've surfed Ventura, Malibu, San Onofre is one of my favorites. But right now the ocean is so dirty from all the fires. So I figured it's a good time to share this story with you. And for those of you, I've never surfed a wave pool. They're building 2 in Palm Springs right now. And they have 1 out that way already. Look, there's Humboldt. Look at that picture. Let's see what else I can show you. Oh, look at that. I just opened up to this. San Mateo. So, we'll show you a couple more pages before we get to our unboxing. Just wanted to share this California Surf Project book with you. That's a phenomenal picture book that every surfer should have. And if you're a photographer too, if you just appreciate a good story with good pictures, I mean, look at this deer. Beautiful photography, so crystal clear. And with all these fires in California, I'm not going to show you the last picture because I want you guys to buy the book, but let's see what else we can show you. Here's a good surf sequence. But, yo, this is when he got a ticket. Look at that Westphalia. That's the one you need. So these guys had a great time, and show you 2 more pages here. Multiple pictures sometimes. Oh, actually, we'll show you 3 more pages. That's pretty awesome in Monterey. Monterey is on my bucket list, and so is Big Sur. And we'll end with that one. So, California Surf Project, I give a high ranking to. And what else can I say? We'll read the back and then we'll move on to our unboxing. Who hasn't heard the siren call of the California coast? Packed into a 1978 VW bus with a quiver of surfboards and a lot of duct tape, Eric Soderquist and Chris Burkhard heeded that call one beautiful autumn. They hit the road with absolutely no plan except to start at the Smith River in the north and finish at the Tijuana Slows, surfing all along the way. The California Surf Project captures in photos and words every golden moment of their trip, sharing instant noodles around the campfire, hunting for aliens with local experts, getting chased off ranches and military bases, and of course, scoring tons of perfect waves. In short, as Ben Gravy would say, living the dream. Look at these photos. That's the one we looked at earlier. I don't think you saw that one. And that's the one I was showing in the beginning. So without further ado, definitely get the California Surf Project. It's a phenomenal book to have. I think I'm going to reread it since I haven't been surfing at all. And I really miss the ocean. It's just so dirty from all the fire chemicals that are killing the poor sea lion and dolphin. And it's just terrible. Ooh, wow. Ooh, yes, this is a great book. I've been really wanting to get back to, it's called Situation Red. Astonishing new revelations of strange and frequently frightening encounters. Situation Red. The UFO Siege. Leonard H. Stringfield, forward by Major Donald E. Kehoe. And I didn't even know this was the book I was opening. It's perfectly fitting with the aliens that they were hunting for, Eric and Chris. I've had this one, I think, for a while that I haven't opened yet, and I've been really wanting to get back to reading about UFOs. We haven't done a review of The Day After Roswell yet, but we will be doing that soon, so stay tuned for that by Colonel Corso. And we'll be doing a review of Witness to Roswell, which was another phenomenal book, as well as one more, so stay tuned. This UFO book could make you a believer in close encounters. Fascinating, Cincinnati Enquirer. In 1973, there was a virtual epidemic of flying saucer sightings. What was most disturbing was that they seemed to be different. For instance, there was an increasing incidence of physical injury, dangerous interference, and outright abduction of observers by these mysterious beings. This carefully documented book presents dozens of incredible, yet unimpeachable cases of ordinary men and women who have been suddenly caught up in events stranger than the wildest science fiction. Who are these visitors to our planet? What do they want? And why does the Air Force fear disclosure of the truth? These are the questions that have created Situation Red, a state of emergency for man and his entire world. So we'll definitely be reviewing this one. Just opened up to that. I had to buy it used. Yeah, 100% sure this is used. But that's the thing with books. Sometimes you can go to your local library, and I actually found a bunch of books that they were just throwing out. So I said, hey, can I go through those before you throw that in the dumpster? And another man's trash or a woman's trash is another man or a woman's treasure. So we will definitely do a book review for this after we read it, but it looks great, Situation Red. And get the California Surf Project. Like, share, and subscribe. And thanks for tuning in today. This has been Better Book Reviews, and we'll see you in the next one.